Morning. Don't know where you are, but where I am, it's early. The world's still stretching. The coffee's hot, and the signals are already coming in. Let's take a look before the day starts making demands. This is Signal Check with Adrian North. Saturday morning. The world's still half asleep, but somewhere a scanner's running. An exploit chain just got published. Someone's cloud keys are already in a dashboard they'll never see. We've got 6 stories this morning. Security broke in interesting ways this week, and a couple signals from a completely different frequency. Let's check them while it's still quiet. SonicWall pushed an emergency patch Friday for 2 0 days that attackers have already chained together. We're talking about the SMA mobile access appliances, the boxes that let remote users into corporate networks. The flaws let you gain root-level control, full system access, no authentication required if you hit them in the right order. The vulnerabilities were being exploited in the wild by a ransomware crew calling themselves Inc. They knew the chain before SonicWall published the advisory. That's the part that stings. If you're running SMA gear and you didn't patch Friday, you're in the blast radius. This one's actively targeted, not theoretical. In early July, researchers spotted a new botnet written in Go. It's called non-mez, and it's hunting for one very specific thing: exposed AI services. Think Jupyter notebooks, model endpoints, anything that lets you poke at machine learning infrastructure without a password. The bot scrapes Shodan to build its target list, then moves through cloud environments looking for AWSM keys and Kubernetes tokens. And here's the kicker: the operator left their own dashboard exposed. It claims they've collected 3,800 unique AWS credentials. We don't know how many of those keys are still valid, but even a 10% hit rate is a problem. This isn't smash and grab, it's methodical. They're indexing access, not burning it. That suggests either resale or long-term campaign prep. Either way, if you've got AI infrastructure accessible from the internet, now's a good time to make sure it actually requires authentication. WordPress pushed an emergency fix this week for something they're calling WP2 Shell. It's a remote code execution bug in WordPress core. Not a plugin, not a theme. Core, which means a bare, fresh WordPress install with absolutely nothing else added, was exploitable. An unauthenticated HTTP request. That's all it took. You send the right malformed packet, and you're running code on the server. Every 6.9 and 7.0 site was in range until Friday when WordPress shipped the patch. What makes this one interesting and a little unnerving is how clean the attack surface is. We spend so much time talking about plugin hygiene and supply chain, and then it turns out the thing everyone trusts by default had a hole you could drive through. If you run WordPress and you haven't updated since Thursday, do it before breakfast. OpenAI published something unusual this week. They built an adversarial red team model, an LLM specifically trained to try and break other LLMs. They're calling it GPT-Red. It's not a product. It's an internal tool that uses it to probe their own models, find edge cases, surface jailbreaks, and map out failure modes before they ship updates. The idea is you train one model to be the attacker. It learns every trick: prompt injection, context manipulation, boundary testing. Then you pit it against your production candidates and see what breaks. It's like fuzzing, but for language and reasoning instead of memory corruption. What I find interesting here is the acknowledgement that these systems are fragile in ways we're still discovering. You can't just patch a buffer overflow. The vulnerabilities are semantic, contextual, so you fight language with language. It's a weird new kind of arms race, and we're still figuring out the rules. All right, 2 more, and these are off the security beat entirely, but they showed up in the Signal this morning, so let's check them. Runner's World published a piece on the Norwegian training method. If you've never heard of it, it's a philosophy that became a movement. Controlled threshold work, predictable recovery, restraint. The whole idea is you train just hard enough to improve, but not so hard that you can't do it again tomorrow. It sounds almost boring until you look at the results. Norwegian runners have been quietly dominating middle and long distance for years now. The method works because it respects biology. You don't chase intensity every session, you build a sustainable rhythm, and over months, years, that consistency compounds into something fast. It's a mindset that applies beyond running. Any system you want to run long-term, training, security ops, creative work, has to stay below the red line most of the time. Spikes are fine, but if you're spiking every day, you're not building endurance. You're just burning out in slow motion. Last one. Canadian Running covered a trail race series in Alberta's Crowsnest Pass, an area around Blairmore that still feels genuinely remote. The race is called Meet the Minotaur, and it's a summer ski running event. Big climbs, technical descents, the kind of terrain that keeps your attention. What caught my eye is the description, unspoiled and hardcore in the same sentence. It's rare now to find places that haven't been optimized, mapped to death, turned into content, but they still exist. Trails that make you work, mountains that don't care if you're tired. There's something clarifying about that. You go somewhere hard, and the only signal that matters is whether you can keep moving. That's signal check for today. Close the tabs, step outside, the day's waiting. We'll talk again next time.